Today, I'm announcing actions to bar migrants who cross our southern border unlawfully from receiving asylum.
Welcome, everybody. We have a stunning turn of political events wherein Joe Biden, through an executive order on immigration and the border, has completely taken out one of the biggest and only remaining arguments that Donald Trump had for why you should elect him, which is that he will shut down the border when there are too many people coming over. There is both a brilliance and a cynicism to what President Joe Biden has done that I want to discuss. And Biden, like me, acknowledges that whatever you do at the border is not actually going to deal with the reasons people are trying to come to the United States from other countries. And we are going to deal with that. But to a degree, it is a very astute political move. Trump is melting down. Republicans are melting down. So let me tell you what went on here. President Joe Biden has signed an executive order which says, when the number of migrant encounters with Border Patrol and immigration enforcement agencies exceeds 2,500 at any particular point, we will shut down the border at that point and say that you can no longer make asylum claims in this stretch of border. You have to do it from your country with a different process until the number goes back down below 1,500. It's relatively straightforward. It's not really going to deal with the immigration issue in a serious way. But at the end of the day, this is what Republicans have been asking for. This is what Republicans proposed in their own bill, which they torpedoed because Trump didn't want to solve it. Trump wanted to leave this problem as something to deal with when he becomes president. So here is President Joe Biden coming out swinging.
After weeks of intense negotiation between my staff and Democrats and Republicans, we came to a clear bipartisan deal. It was the strongest border security agreement in decades. But then Republicans in Congress, not all, but walked away from it.
Right.
Why? Because Donald Trump told them to. He told the Republicans, it has been published widely by many of you, that he didn't want to fix the issue. He wanted to use it to attack me. That's what he wanted to do. It was a cynical and an extremely cynical political move, and a complete disservice to the American people who are looking for us to not to weaponize the border, but to fix it. Today, I'm joined by a bipartisan group of governors, members of Congress, mayors, law enforcement officials, most of whom live and work along the southern border. They know the border is not a political issue to be weaponized. The responsibility we have to share to do something about it. They don't have time for the games played in Washington.
This really throws Donald Trump's plan for a loop, which was Biden won't do this, and so you need me to come in and do it. Now, I think it's not really a great plan with regard to actually fixing the immigration problems that we have, but we'll get to that in a moment. Here is President Joe Biden explaining what this means for asylum seekers.
But Republicans have left me with no choice. Today, I'm announcing actions to bar migrants who cross our southern border unlawfully from receiving asylum. Migrants will be restricted from asylum at our southern border unless they seek it after entering through an established lawful process. And those who seek to come to the United States legally, for example, by making an appointment and coming to a port of entry, asylum will still be available to them.
All right. So listen, the point here is if you enter the U.S. illegally, you can no longer make an asylum claim. If you find some other legal means to get into the United States, at that point, you can say, hey, I'd like to request asylum. Is this going to endanger some migrants who are in dangerous situations in their home countries? Yes, it is. It would be the case whether Biden did it or Trump did it. I don't think this is a really tremendous idea, but it's what Republicans say they wanted. It's what Republicans said Biden isn't willing to do it. And you have to hand it to him from a political strategy standpoint. Now, I'd prefer to deal with this, number one, by dealing with the conditions in the source countries that make people want to come to the United States and risk coming illegally in the first place. This doesn't do that. I'd like to see our capacity to adjudicate asylum claims ramped up dramatically. We need more immigration judges. We need to be able to process more of these claims and process them more quickly. That's not what this does. To his credit, Joe Biden agrees that that's actually what we need to do.
Today, I'm joined by a bipartisan group of governors, members of Congress, mayors, law enforcement officials, most of whom live and work along the southern border. They know the border is not a political issue to be weaponized. The responsibility we have to share to do something about it. They don't have time for the games played in Washington, and neither do the American people. So today, I'm moving past Republican obstruction and using the executive authorities available to me as president to do what I can on my own to address the border. Frankly, I would have preferred to address this issue through a bipartisan legislation because that's the only way to actually get the kind of system we have now that's broken, fixed, to hire more Border Patrol agents, more asylum officers, more judges. But Republicans have left me no choice.
This is really a bungling for Republicans. They could have been up there with Biden saying he did this because of us. This is our bill. But Trump told them you got to torpedo the bill because I need something to say you should vote for me so that I will do it when I am president. And now Joe Biden gets to go up there and tout this all by himself. Now, we had a discussion on the bonus show yesterday that this is nominally something. I don't know how many people you attract versus you repel with this. And when the election will come down to 500,000 votes in 3 to 5 states, one of those 3 to 5 states maybe being Arizona, maybe there's a calculation here from Biden, which is, hey, you know what? This might upset some people who are already planning to vote for me in California, but California, I'm going to win easily. But this will bring me some new votes in Arizona, which is a contested state that is not going to necessarily be so easy for me. So there may be a political calculation here that's made looking at the electoral map. I can't really tell you. What I can tell you is that this is what Republicans wanted. They didn't do it. And now Biden is doing it and making the point, by the way, that he is not going to be demonizing immigrants.
I believe that immigration has always been a lifeblood of America. We're constantly renewed by an infusion of people and new talent. The Statue of Liberty is not some relic of American history. It stands for who we are as the United States. So I will never demonize immigrants. I'll never refer to immigrants as poisoning the blood of a country. And further, I'll never separate children from their families at the border.
Speaking of poisoning the blood of our country, in an interview responding to this statement, Trump melted down and said exactly that. We'll get to that in a moment. So is this a politically astute calculation from President Joe Biden, or is it a mistake? Well, when it comes to the states that are in question, it certainly seems to, again, cross off another item from the list of why someone might vote for Donald Trump, because now Biden did the thing. Let's talk about how Trump reacted. It's the same dilemma every year for Father's Day. What do you get the man who already has everything and says, I don't need any gift? Put down the slippers, step away from the necktie, and get dad something that he will actually love. An Aura digital photo frame. Our sponsor Aura makes stunning Wi-Fi connected digital frames that allow you to share and display unlimited photos. It's easy to upload and share photos via the Aura app. If you're giving Aura as a gift, you can even personalize it with preloaded photos and memories. I gave one of these to my dad for last Father's Day, mentioned it on the show. I recently gave my mom one of these for Mother's Day, and I put pictures of the baby up from wherever I am. They pop up on the digital picture frame. It's great. And my favorite part is that you can put pictures on without even unpacking the frame. So it's still ready to be opened up, but with pictures already on it. Now, both I and my dad can add and remove pictures remotely using the app. You also get unlimited storage on the cloud. And right now, Aura has an amazing deal for Father's Day. Go to auraframes.com/Pacman and use the code Pacman for $30 off plus free shipping on their best-selling frame. The link is in the description. Terms and conditions apply.